Happy Monday, scholars! So last week, we focused on beaks and how they help birds survive. Now this week, we're going to use that information we read about in our story Beaks to write an informative paragraph about how birds use their beaks to survive. So today, we're going to focus on the structure of a paragraph. We're going to review that information, and then we're going to go back into our story Beaks to help you guys formulate some ideas on what you can use in your informative paragraph about how beaks help birds to survive. So let's take a look at our hamburger chart, which shows us the structure of how our informative paragraph should be. So first, we start out with our topic sentence or focus statement. And if you remember, our topic sentence or focus statement tells what your topic is going to be about. What is your paragraph going to be about? And in this case, how beaks help birds survive. Then we have details. You're going to use details to give more information on that topic statement or focus sentence. So, for example, if I say beaks help birds to survive, I'm going to give an example of a type of beak and how it helps the bird to survive. Okay, so try to include as many details as you can. And then lastly, you're going to include your closure or your closing sentence, which wraps this paragraph up and lets the reader know that you are done writing. So basically, it restates what was said in the topic sentence in another way. Okay, so let's review our story Beaks so that you can get some ideas of how beaks help birds to survive. So one of the beaks we learned about last week was the song sparrow's beak. And we learned that the song sparrow's beak is small and it has a cone-shaped beak. Do you remember anything else that we learned about the song sparrow's beak? Very good. It uses its beak to help it get seeds, and it also, its beak helps it not drop the seeds. Okay? So let's take a look at another kind of beak. This is the macaw, and the macaw has a heavy beak. Okay, we learned that the macaw's beak is sharp and it eats very big seeds with its beak. So what is one of the ways that you could say that the macaw uses its beak to survive? Yep, it cuts through big seeds, and that's how it finds its food for it to survive. We also learned about the hummingbird's beak, and the hummingbird's beak is long like a probe. It says, long, thin bills help hummingbirds reach the energy-rich nectar they need to survive. Different bills fit different shapes of flowers. The white-tipped sickle-billed hummingbird inserts its long, curved bill into the opening of the heliconia flower. So I'm going to stop right here because those are a couple ideas and details of something you could write about in your informative paragraph. So let's look at another beak. So what bird do we know has a hooked beak? Very good, an eagle. And we know that an eagle's beak does what? It helps it tear flesh. Okay, so that's one way that it helps the eagle to survive. I'll read a little bit of this paragraph as well. Eagles and other birds of prey are hunters, and their beaks are designed to help them eat flesh. Bald eagles feed mostly on fish. They fly low over lakes or streams and snatch their prey with their long talons. An eagle takes its fish to a perch or nest. Then the bird uses its sharp hooked beak to strip away the fish's scaly skin and pick the meat off its bones. So those are some more details you could use in your informative paragraph. So think about the different beaks we discussed so far. Think about what they look like and what their function is so you can gather ideas of which beaks you want to write about. Another beak we discussed is the toucan's beak. The toucan's beak are very light. What do you remember about the toucan's beak? What can happen to the toucan's beak because it's so light? Excellent job. You're absolutely right. The toucan's beak can break. because it's so light. Okay, so sometimes the toucan's beak can actually be a con for it because it's so light, it can break. Now, another beak we learned about was the woodpecker's beak. The woodpecker's beak is sturdy and strong. I'm going to read a little bit from this paragraph. Woodpeckers use their sturdy, pointed beaks to pound, drill, and tear into wood as they search for insects. Some, such as the acorn woodpecker, chip away holes where they store acorns and seeds. Fortunately, a woodpecker's skull is reinforced with extra thick bone. This keeps the bird from getting brain damage while it is woodpecking away. Okay, so we learned about a few beaks so far that you could write about. Another beak we have here is the flamingo's beak, and these beaks are made upside down. Okay, it says the flamingo's beak looks ridiculous until you see how the flamingo eats. Flamingos feed with their heads upside down, standing in shallow lakes and marshes. Okay, so how does the flamingo use its beak to help it survive? Yep, it uses its upside down beak to get its food. Okay, now we have the skimmer's beak here. And we learned last week, what is one thing that you remember about the skimmer's beak? Pay attention to what it looks like. Yep, the bottom, we learned that the bottom bill is longer than the top. And that the skimmer puts its backwards beak to good use by using it to hunt. Okay? We also learned about the swishing beak that a spoonbill has. And we see that the spoonbill's beak is long and then rounded at the end. It says spoonbills have flat paddle-shaped beaks. To find food, spoonbills wade into shallow water and swish their open beaks back and forth. At the same time, the birds use their feet to stir up mud and the animals in it. Like skimmers, they hunt by touch, snapping their beaks closed on insects, fish, and other prey. All right, friends, so we did not get this far last week, but here are a few more beaks I just want to show you. Here's the heron's beak. You see it's long and pointy. This is the pelican's beak. You see a crossbill's beak, a hornbill's beak. And these, friends, these are just to show you different kinds of beaks. Here we have the bee-eater's beak. We learned about the bee-eater in another text. Okay, and I'll show you maybe two more. We have the puffin's beak. Puffin, and let's get one more good one. The Hawaiian honey creeper has an interesting beak. It's kind of hooked just like the eagle's beak. Okay, so there are a lot of beaks in this text that you guys can write about. So let's review what the structure of our paragraph should look like one more time before I let you guys go and you're going to do it independently. Hold on 1 second. All right. So we start out with our topic sentence or focus statement, which tells what you're going to be writing about. And in this case, you're writing about what? Very good. How beaks help birds survive. And then you're going to follow up with some details that give us more information on that topic sentence. Lastly, you're going to close out your paragraph by letting the reader know that you're done writing and restating what you said up here in your focus statement or topic sentence. Okay? Good luck writing your informative paragraph, and I can't wait to see what you guys wrote.